let's get going with our lesson for tonight. So, Miss Cat has sent me some notes for you guys. She says you are now on the area and perimeter of a circle. So I remember where I left you guys off last week. We were looking at area and perimeter. We made a really nice table together, and then we were looking at area and perimeter of different shapes. We started with perimeter, and Miss Cat finished off with area on the Thursday. And tonight we're going to look at area and perimeter of a circle. Okay, so let's have a look. All right, so Ms. Cat has said here that a circle is a 2D shape, so it falls under 2D shapes, and she's made some notes here for you, perimeter and area. So guys, remember when we made that table last week, all right, when I was teaching you in class and you had the circle there? You can add to that now if you want to. You can take a screenshot of these notes if you want to. We're just going to go through the ones that Ms. Cat has put here, so she's giving you some extra notes. So first of all, let's start off by looking at the actual shape. Okay, so it says the perimeter of a circle is called its circumference. So we were talking about that last week, and the fact that when the space around the outside of a circle is not known as the perimeter, it's known as the circumference. So here is the word circumference. Circumference is talking about that space all around the outside. Okay, so circumference is the total distance around the outside of the shape. All right. A diameter is a line passing through the center. That's very important. If they ask you for a definition of what is a diameter is a line that passes through the center of a circle, okay, and joining 2 points of the circle. It divides the circle into 2 semicircles. So let's go highlight that one for ourselves. So here is diameter, and the diameter is the line that's going from one edge of the circle to the other. But what's most important is we need to say that it goes through the center. All right, that diameter we can also say cuts the circle into 2 halves, also known as semicircles, guys. All right. A radius is a line from the center to a point on the circle. So a radius, here's the word radius for you. Okay, and it's the line that goes from the center to a point on the circumference. From the center to a point on the circumference of the circle. All right. An arc of a circle is the portion of a circumference of a circle. So we've got an arc over here for us. Let's go with yellow. Here is the arc over here. And what are they talking about in the arc? In the arc, they're talking about just this little piece over there. It's a portion of the circumference, okay? All right. A sector of a circle is the area bounded by 2 radii and an arc. All right. A sector always reminds you of a slice of pizza. So a sector, okay, let's go pick a nice color so that we can color this in a different color maybe. Let's go with this color. All right. A sector is all of this on the inside. That's going to be my sector. Okay, it's like having a slice of pizza. Sector, slice, sector, slice, sector, slice. Okay. Somebody's asking me in the chat, ma'am, is a chord the little diagonal radius? So what is a chord? Okay, there isn't a chord drawn on here. Let's draw a chord on for you guys. A chord is a line that goes from one edge of the circle to the other edge of the circle. It doesn't necessarily go through the center of the circle. So a chord does not go through the center of a circle. It goes from one edge to the other. This is known as a chord. Okay. All right. Let's see what else Miss Cat's notes here. A semicircle is half of a full circle. So we looked at that just now. We saw that the semicircle was half of the full circle. So guys, if we're looking at perimeter, and perimeter we looked at last week a little bit when we put it inside our nice table, okay, we said the length of the circumference is calculated using the formula circumference equals 2 pi r, where r represents the radius of the circle. Or we could say circumference equals pi times d, where d represents the diameter. Okay. It says, remember that for any circle, pi is equal to circumference over diameter. So that's not really something that you need to know there. What you do need to know there is our two formulas. So here, circumference equals 2 pi r, or circumference equals 2 pi r, or circumference equals pi d, pi times diameter. Okay, so that's the formula we're going to use. We're going to practice with it a little bit later on. Okay, right, area. The formula for the area of a circle is A equals pi r squared. Now, how are you going to remember the difference between these two, guys? How are you going to remember which one is for the circumference and which one is for the area? Well, when we calculate area, what are our units always in? They're always in units squared, or centimeters squared, or meters squared. So we need to remember that the area is equal to pi r squared. And we're going to practice tonight using that formula and practicing it a whole lot. All right. You are welcome to take a screenshot of this section if you want to. Otherwise, I can always come back to it at a later stage. But so far, that is our circle that we're looking at. Okay. All right. Let's move on. So, if we're looking at a semicircle is half of a full circle. So a semicircle is kind of like taking the circumference of a full circle, and we're going to divide it by 2. But we can also say, instead of dividing by 2, we can times it by a half, because it's half of a full circle. So to get the perimeter of a semicircle, all right, and when I'm talking about the perimeter of the semicircle, in this case, we are talking about just that place on the outside, all right? So not the one in the center. The perimeter of the semicircle is half of the circumference of a full circle. So we can say half 2 pi r, or we can say circumference equals pi r. So for a semicircle, we're going to take the circumference of a normal circle and we're going to divide it by 2. Okay, so whereas a normal circle would be will be 2 pi r. When we divide that by 2, we get rid of the 2, and so the circumference for the semicircle is pi r. Okay, guys, these ones you don't need to learn off by heart. They're mostly given to you, but you also can work them out. If we're looking at the area of a semicircle, okay, the area of a semicircle is half of the area of a full circle, and so area is going to be equal to half pi r squared. Another way to write that is you could say to yourself, it's equal to pi r squared divided by 2, because over means divide. That's what over means. When you put something over something else, you are dividing it. All right. If they had to give you a semicircle that looked like this, like the one that we've got in the drawing. So let's go highlight the sides of the semicircle. It's got the arc, and then it's got a line joining it at the bottom. Okay, so it's got the arc and then the line joining at the bottom, and they ask you to calculate the circumference. Then it says, if the diameter is a solid line, so previously it was a dotted line, so we didn't need it, but now it's a solid line. It forms part of the perimeter. The formula is therefore going to be, you're going to take your formula for the semicircle and you're going to add the line that is the diameter. Guys, we're going to practice this. It makes more sense once you start practicing. The area stays the same because area is area. It's the space on the inside. what happens if you had to have a quarter circle? Okay, what happens if you had to have a quarter circle? Well, in this case, for the first one, we're just looking at the dark line. So the perimeter of a quarter of a circle is a quarter of the circumference of the circle. So the circumference equals 2 pi r, and we want a quarter of that. We're going to say a quarter, open brackets, 2 pi r. So that's one way to do it. Or we could say circumference equals 2 pi r over 4. Either way, you would get the same answer. It means the same thing. For the area of that shape, the area is going to be a quarter times pi r squared. Let's say, though, that they gave you this shape now. Let's say that they went and they colored in these lines so that they're dark. Well, then, to get the shape of the perimeter of that shape, all right, we would get a quarter of the circle plus the radius plus the radius, and the area would stay the same. All right. I know there's some people who are wanting me to go back so you can take some screenshots, so I'm going to do that for you, but I think the best thing for me to do for you actually is to put it all on one page. Let's see if I can do that, if it's not too small. All right, there we go, and you can take a screenshot of the whole page. All right, so there's a screenshot of the whole page all together. Okay, I'm going to give you 1 minute if you want to take a screenshot there. So there's all your different formula, there's your description of the different words, okay, all on one page. Again, remember guys, you could use that table that we did last week and you can fill it in there as well. I hope that you took that table that we spoke about and I hope that you stuck it up on your wall, just like we spoke about last week. Okay, let's move on and let's do some practice. So for A, it says, calculate the area and circumference of the following shapes. So first of all, it's really important that we take note of what they're asking us here, guys. They're asking us to do the area and they're asking us to do the perimeter. So they're asking us to do the area and they're asking us for the perimeter. So we need to make sure that we're answering both parts of the question. For the first shape that we've got here, it's a full circle. So that makes our life a little bit easier, okay? We're going to go tell ourselves, well, in this full circle, what have they given us? They've given us a line that goes from the center to the edge. A line that goes from the center to the edge is called a radius, and that radius is 10 centimeters. So that's going to help us, okay? That's going to help us. You might be asking, Christy, why is that going to help us? Why are you writing that down there? Because guys, when you're in a test or an exam, you get super stressed and you make silly mistakes. So writing down what the radius is from the picture just helps you map everything out a little bit more. All right. So if I want to do the area is going to be equal to pi r squared. So I'm doing the area first. Area equals pi r squared. So I'm going to say pi times by brackets 10 squared. All right, how many decimal places? Tell us in the chat, how many decimal places do we want, guys, when you're doing maths and you're doing area and perimeter? Can you remember? How many decimal places do we always want? Good, well done, guys. Always 2 decimal places. Okay, so always 2 decimal places. All right, I already have a hand up. I'm hoping that's Chi-Chi asking me, giving me the answer. Hi, Chi-Chi.
Hi, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you, ma'am?
I'm good. Have you got an answer for me?
No answer today. It's just that I just want to make sure, and I actually want to test if I actually understand. So since I came in late, I just want to understand if like they give us the number on the chart and like we just write it in the radius and then we just substitute the radius in the equation, right? Like we substitute, like you see, like where it says pi a radius turn. Yeah. So as I understand, and the answer is 314 squared.
Good. So we get 314 314,
14 squared.
comma,
Squared.
what's your decimals? What about your decimals? I definitely know that there's some decimals there. 2 decimal places. Give me 2 decimal places.
15. It's 15.
Okay, let's have a look. Thank you so much, Chi-Chi. Thank you. You got it. You got it. You got this. Okay. So Chi-Chi saying to me that it was 314. Then we had 1, 5, 9, 2, 6, 5, 3, 5, 8, 9, 7, 3, and it'll carry on going. All right. So guys, I want to show you, for those of you who are a little bit confused about rounding still, let's do some rounding practice. So if I want to round off to 2 decimal places, then what I always do is I grab a different color pen or a pencil, okay? I underline the decimal place I want to round off to. So I want to round off to 2, okay? If I'm rounding off to 2 decimal places, I need to go and look at the 3rd number. And I can ignore everything that comes after that, okay? So that means I'm going to have 314, and just like some of you have said in the chat, guys, comma 16 centimeters squared. Okay, so 314, 16 centimeters squared. All right. If it's above 5, the number goes up. If it's below 5, the number stays the same. Let's go calculate the circumference. Circumference equals 2 pi r. So I'm saying 2 times by pi times by 10. And what does that give me? Who's giving me an answer? Is that Omar giving me the answer there? Hi, Omar. Miss Simone, you might have to unmute Omar because my screen's doing weird things again. I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. Hi,
can
Omar.
you hear me, ma'am?
I can hear you. How are you?
I'm getting yourself, ma'am.
I'm good, thank you. Have you got an answer for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Cool. What's your answer?
I got 20 pi, which is 62,83 centimeters.
Good. 62,83 centimeters. Well done. Thanks, Omar. And just a reminder, because so when you had, okay, almost got it. All right, so guys, if on your calculator you got one of those fancy schmancy scientific calculators, and the answer says 20 pi, you're going to do exactly what Omar did. You're going to press equals again, and then it'll give you your proper answer. If it's not giving you the proper answer, there's another fancy schmancy button on your calculator that has an S like this and this. S to D it's called, all right? You would press that, and that would give you your final answer. Okay. All right. Let's have a look at example number 2. I'm going to give you a few minutes to go try it. So example number 2, they've given me a circle. It's got a 6 there. All right. While you're trying that, okay, while you're trying that, there are some people that are saying they're confused about how I got the answer for the area. Guys, do you want to put your hand up while everybody's trying this one, and we can chat about it? So then I can explain it to you. You can tell me where you're confused. All right, so there's people that are saying they're confused or they don't know how we got that answer. Guys, just lift your hand and tell us where you're confused or where you're getting confused. It'll make it a little bit easier than writing it in the chats, and we can see where exactly we lost you. Okay. All right, so I'm giving you 1 more minute. I'm giving you 1 more minute. All right. So before I take Chi-Chi's question, I'm going to show you guys quickly. So I would go say diameter equals 6 meters. So this is the first thing I would write on my page. Diameter equals 6 meters. And then I would tell myself that means that radius is equal to 3 meters because the radius is half of the diameter. Okay, so that's what I would tell myself first. I would say diameter equals 6. And then I would say radius equals 3. All right, I think I answered Chi-Chi's question. Okay. All right, if you didn't get it before in the first question, let's have a look at it now. All right, so I've got area equals pi r squared. So that's the formula that I'm using for area. Area equals pi r squared. Okay? I leave pi as is pi, times pi. We just worked out that r is equal to 3, and we're going to square it. Okay. All right, who's got some answers for us? Are you guys going to let Omar answer all the questions tonight? Omar, it looks like you're on your own. Oh, there we go, Tandor. Okay, Omar, thank you for putting your hand up. I'm going to go to Tandor for now. Hi, Tandor.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm good, and you, ma'am?
I'm good, thanks. Right, I'm glad that it's not Monday anymore and that it's Tuesday. I keep thinking it's Monday. Okay, talk to me. What did you get for your answer?
I got 28,27 meters.
Good, well done. 28,27. Now, one little thing here, meters. If it's area, what does it need to be, Tando?
Squared.
Squared, well done. Thank you. Okay, Tando, stay with me because you're going to help me with circumference. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so circumference equals 2 pi r. We could have done pi d as well. That's fine. It's going to give you the same answer. I just like going with the same formulas all the time. Otherwise, I start getting confused and I have to learn different things. So, yeah. Okay, so 2 times pi times r. All right, talk to me. What's your answer? Oh, I didn't say what r was. Oh my goodness. Hold on, Tando. I'm losing my mind a little bit here. R was 3, hey? Thank you. Okay, you got?
I got 18,84
well
meters.
done. 85. 85
Oh, ma'am,
meters.
I just want to find out, do we have, is it I have to round the decimal, or can you just leave it as is?
So normally your instructions will always say round off to 2 decimal places. Okay, if it doesn't specifically say round off to 2 decimal places, then I suppose you could get away with leaving it as is, but there's a whole lot of decimals for you to round up. You know what I mean? Write down on your page. And also, Tando, actually, your calculator only shows you a few of the decimals. Those decimals go on for ages. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's better to just round off to 2.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, cool. All right. I see Chi-Chi's got her hand up. Chi-Chi, what's your question?
Ma'am, I just want to ask, where did you get the 3 from? Or is it like, yeah, the 3, like, where did you get it from?
That's okay. So we saw, Chi-Chi, stay with me, the diameter was equal to 6, hey?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how do we get radius? If they've given us the diameter, how do you get the radius? What must you do?
Half 6.
Half of 6, and half of 6 gives you?
3.
3.
Oh, okay. So if they give us any number on the picture, like we have to half it to get the radius.
If they give you the diameter, then you half it to get the radius, yes.
Okay, and if they give you the radius, just do the easy parts.
Exactly, just do the easy part. You don't have to do anything complicated. Don't complicate your life, Chi-Chi.
Okay, I won't, I promise.
All right, so a question in the chat, how do we know which decimal is the right one to round off? So all your decimals must be rounded off. If they don't say to you guys round off your decimals to 2 decimal places, they might say round off to 1 decimal place. It all depends on what your teacher wants or the person who's writing the test wants, but it's normally 2 decimal places or 1 decimal place. Okay. All right, have a look at this next one. It's a tricky one. It's a semicircle. Okay, it's a semicircle. All right. Somebody's asking me for a screenshot, so I'm going to go up slightly so they can take a screenshot of that one, but your semicircle is still there for you. So go have a look at the semicircle for me, guys. Remember, a semicircle is half of a circle. A semicircle is half of a circle. All right, moving it up so you can see. Okay, semicircle is half of a circle. All right. I see Mikhail has their hand up already. Mikhail, do you have a question for me or do you want to help me answer? Let's see. Hi, Mikhail.
Hello, ma'am.
How
Ma'am, I
are
wanted to answer.
You want to answer? Okay, I'm going to put you back on mute, but you are answering with us. Okay, promise. Awesome. All right, to help you out a little bit, guys, Mikhail is going to answer this one, but to help you out, I'm telling you, they've given us a diameter of 7 millimeters. How do I know it's 7? How do I know that's the diameter? Because that's cutting the circle in half. Okay. How do we get radius? If we've been given a diameter, we divide the diameter by 2. And so 7 divided by 2 gives me 3,5. Okay. 1 more minute. I'm loving all the screens on and seeing you guys working. It's really great. Awesome. Okay. Can see you really doing the work, guys. Well done. All right. Let's have a look. Right, Mikhail, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go, Mikhail. Talk to me. How did you get the area?
I started with the circumference first.
That's fine. Let's go. Circumference. How did you get the circumference?
So the formula for the circumference is 1/2 times 2 times 5
Good.
times the radius, which is the 4, plus the diameter.
Well done. Plus the diameter. Well done. Or you could say plus the radius if you really wanted to, hey? Okay,
Yes,
Mikhail, so I've got 1/2 brackets 2 times pi times the radius was 3,5 plus the diameter was 7.
7.
Okay, now let's have a look. What's my answer going to be?
14,50.
Okay, let's see. Equals plus, I believe you. I'm just checking on my calculator. You got? What did you get? 14 comma?
It was like for the decimals. I just rounded it off, ma'am, to 50.
Perfect. So I'm just going to double check. I believe you. I'm going to double check on my calculator quickly. Times 3,5 equals plus 7. I get 17,99557, which gives me 18. But maybe somebody can check for me. I get a different answer. Maybe Mikhail, just put it in your calculator for me once more and just double check. All right, just double check for me quick. Make sure that you've got the brackets in the right place when you put it on your calculator. Okay, and make sure you've got a plus. So put that into your calculator for me again.
Okay, now I got 17,999.
Okay, cool. So we get 17 comma, now stay with me, Mikhail, 9955742875, blah, 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 carries on going. Hey, do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we want to round off to 2 decimal places. So let's go have a look. So here's my second decimal place. It's under this 9. So I circle the third one. That third one's a number 5. So if it's a number 5, what's going to happen?
It's gonna change to 100, ma'am. So it's gonna be 18.
Well done. Nice, rockstar. Well done. So this will be 18 millimeters. Nice. Well done. Thanks, Mikhail. All right. Guys, always make sure when you're doing these kind of questions and they're quite long and they've got pluses and times, make sure you put them on your calculator twice just in case. I did it on my calculator twice and I got a different answer. That's why I had to check as well myself. All right. So we're looking for somebody to help me with the area now. So let's go with Okeka. Hi, Okeka.
Hey, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask with number C. I did a different formula, but the answer is the same.
That's perfect. Did you do pi r plus diameter? What did you do?
Yes, ma'am.
That's
Yes, ma'am,
perfect. That's perfect. You know why? Because a half times by 2 gives me 1, hey? So I don't really have to put the 2 in. So well done. It's the same thing. Well done. Nice.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. All right, guys, let's go do the area. So I'm going to write area in a different color, and I'm going to put them over here. Area is going to be equal to half brackets pi r squared. So I've got a half times by pi times by open brackets 3, 5 squared, close my brackets. Okay. All right, let's go calculate that, please. So go calculate it, put it on your calculators. I'm doing on my calculator. All right, who's got some answers for me? Who's got some answers for me for this one? Nice, I'm getting some good answers. Good. Only 2 people so far. Come, guys, more people must have calculators on them. All right, come on, come on. More people must have a calculator. Well done. Good. So we get 19,24 millimeters squared. If you're getting a strange answer, go and check whether you remembered to square your radius. Okay, so if you're getting a strange answer, go check if you went and you squared your radius. That might be where maybe you went wrong a little bit. Okay, it's a common problem, common. All right. Okay, grade 9s, let's move down to the next question. I'm going to leave that there so people can screenshot it. All right, let's look at the next one. Oh my goodness, the next one is a quarter of a circle. The next one is a quarter of a circle. Next one's a quarter of a circle. Okay. All right. So hopefully you've got a screenshot of that. I'm going to go give myself some space to work out on. Right. So let's do it together, everybody. Let's do it together. Okay. So they've given us the radius and they told us it was 8,6 centimeters. Guys, if that's the radius on that side, do you agree that the radius on this side is also going to be 8,6 centimeters? How do I know that? Because the distance from the center to the edge is going to be the same all the way around the circle. Okay. So far I've got radius equals 8,6. We said that this was a quarter. All right. So let's start. We've got circumference equals, okay, a quarter times by 2, pi, yeah, r. So a quarter times 2 pi r. Okay, that takes care of what? That takes care of the space on the outside. Okay, what are we then going to do? We're going to say plus the radius plus the radius. Okay, so if we put our figures in, we're going to have a quarter times 2 times pi times 8,6 plus 8,6 plus 8,6. Okay, do that calculation for me, please. I'm getting my calculator out here on the side. So here we go. Or if you guys go do your calculations. Remember to do it on your calculator twice, just in case. All right. Anyone got some answers for me? Anyone got some answers for me? Got one answer so far. I've got 2 people that have the same answer. Right. There we go. Now I'm seeing some correct answers in the chats. Good. Now I'm seeing some right answers. Well done. Good. Nice, guys. So when we put that on our calculator, and I hope that you went and practice, I hope you put it on your calculator. It's really important that you do that, okay? When you put it on your calculator, you get 30,71 centimeters squared. Okay. Be careful. Be careful. Do you know what a common mistake is if you're getting weird answers? If you're getting weird answers, make sure that you remembered to put in a quarter. That's the first thing. Okay, so make sure on your calculator you've got a quarter times by. And the next thing is make sure that you added here and that you didn't times. All right, so that's my circumference. Let's go do my area. Area normally equals to pi r squared, but in this case, it's a quarter times pi r squared because it's a quarter of the circle. So I've got a quarter times pi times by 8,6 squared. Don't forget the squared, guys. Don't forget the squared. Go calculate that. Okay. What am I getting? What am I getting for the area? What am I getting for area? Let's see some answers coming through. Put it in your calculator, please. Let's see. No one's got any answers for us yet, so we're not putting it into our calculator. All right, I'm seeing one person who's got the same answer as me so far. Two people, there we go, or similar answer to me. Good, nice. Good, well done, guys. So we're going to get 58,09 centimeters squared. 58,09 centimeters squared. And if you didn't get the same answer as me, if you got a weird answer, go back and check that you made this squared. Okay. All right, so somebody's asking me, ma'am, do we lose marks in the exam if we don't put the units? Guys, if you've got a question, okay, let's say it's question 2. And in question 2, there's units in the first question and units in the, so centimeters, 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 millimeters, and you forget to put the units anywhere in that question, they'll only minus 1 from you in the exam or in that question. Okay, so they won't mark it wrong every single time. They'll only minus 1 mark from you. Okay, but let's say in question 2 you had units, and then in question 7 you also had units. Depending on your teacher, all right, they might penalize you again, so they might minus another mark from you again if you didn't put your units. So don't lose silly marks. Those are silly marks to lose, okay? Remember to put down your units each time, all right? So you know those last few minutes when people have their heads on their desk and they've gone to sleep? That's not going to be our Watobe students. Our Watobe students are going to be checking their papers. They're going to make sure, have they put all the units? Have they underlined their answers? Have they made it nice and clear? Okay, so you guys are going to be making sure. I don't want to hear about anyone going to sleep at the end of the exam. No one should be doing that. All right. Let's have a look at this nice question. So, this nice question is a challenge. So here is a challenge for you. I can tell you that this shape is 3/4 of a circle, if that helps. Okay, so I can tell you that that's 3/4 of a circle, if that helps. All right, doing exactly the same thing as what you guys have been doing the whole time, but this one is 3/4 of a circle now. Go have a look. Go have a look for me. Okay. So for this one, my radius equals 2 centimeters. So firstly, I want to start with area because I always find area a little bit easier. So area is going to be equal to 3/4 times by pi r squared. So I'm going to have 3/4 times by pi. times by 2 squared. Okay. All right, let me go do it on my calculator that I've got here. So I've got 3/4 times pi times 2 squared. All right, and Omo already has given me the answer. Okay, come on. Who else has got the answer for us? Put that into your calculator. Get the practice. Make sure you're not just watching me do it. Good, good, nice. We're getting some answers. Well done, guys. So we get 9,42 centimeters squared. Well done. Now I want to go calculate the circumference. So for circumference is normally 2 pi r. Okay, circumference is normally 2 pi r. But now I've got 3/4 of the circle. So 3/4 times 2 pi r plus, so that takes care of this. Remember we spoke about Peter the ant last week. So Peter the ant would have walked around there. That takes care of that. Okay, plus what else is left? A radius plus a radius. So plus a radius plus a radius. So 3/4, 2 times pi times 2 plus 2 plus 2. Okay, go give me some answers. Nice, Mikhail. Well done. Well done, Letta. Good. Okay, so we get 13,42 centimeters. All right, I see Chi has a question, so let's answer Chi-Chi's question. Hi, Chi-Chi.
Hi,
What's your
ma'am.
question?
Ma'am, I wanted to answer
Oh, sorry.
the equation.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Oh,
You
it's
were
okay,
running
it's
away just
okay.
now. You were telling me it's too hard.
No, that wasn't me. That
Oh,
was
was that not
totally
you?
not
Okay.
me.
Not
No,
you.
no,
Okay.
no, wasn't me. No,
Okay.
no, no,
All
no,
right,
no.
cool. It's not that bad. Is this question that bad, Chi-Chi?
No, it's not.
Not
It's
that
not
bad.
actually.
Good.
It's not.
Good. When
It's
you
not
write out
that.
everything.
It's not. It's not that bad. It's not.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
That bad.
Good. All right, guys. So there we go from Chi-Chi. The question's not that bad. All right. Now, there's one last question I want to do with you tonight. So there's one last question I'm doing with you tonight. It's talking about a feature door in a museum that needs to be painted. Okay. We need to calculate the area of the door, stating the units and rounding up our own answer to the, and look here, to the nearest whole number this time. Okay, to the nearest whole number this time. All right, so have a look at that. I'm just going to go up so that people can take a screenshot or write the answer down quickly. All right. Hope you've got it down. Hope you've got a screenshot. Okay, let's go have a look. So here, it looks like I've got a square, guys. Because if I'm looking at this, I've got this line, this line, this line, and this line. So to me, that's definitely a square, hey? So I'm going to go calculate or put the formula for the area of a square. Area of a square is equal to, some people say length times breadth, all right, and that's fine. Some people say side. I'm going to try get my S to look like an S and not like a 5. So side squared. Okay, so that's the first thing. That's our square. Plus, then we've got a semicircle sitting on top of that. So a semicircle is half of a normal circle. But to get the area of a normal circle, I need to know what the radius is. Guys, if that's 10, then that means that this is also 10. Okay? So the diameter of that semicircle is 10 meters, which means that the radius is going to be equal to 5 meters. So I'm going to have half times by Oopsie. Apologies. Times by pi r squared. So my side was 10 squared plus a half pi times by 5 squared. Okay. Go calculate that for me, please. I'm going to go break it down. 100 squared, 10 squared is 100 plus, I'm doing it on my calculator, plus, oh, why did I put this back here? Sorry, going too fast. So plus 5 times by 25 plus 39,27, let's say, which is equal to 139,27. Hold up. Okay, what do we need to do? We need to round off to the nearest whole number. So it's going to be 139 meters squared. All right. Be careful. Make sure that you're following the instructions. Make sure you're following the instructions. Okay, if you do it separately and you go calculate the area of the square first, and then you calculate the area of the semicircle, and then you add them together, you're going to get the same answer. So that's fine. I just put it for you in one formula. All right. So